Technical Tuesdays. That's right, again, Technical Tuesdays.
Major barrier of resistance is 1.15. As long as we stay below that level and break this 1.12 level.
Hey guys, and welcome back to a brand new Technical Tuesday, and this is episode 52.
That's right, so recently we have been given a lot of vlog-based content. We have around 5 or 6 last videos which were all vlog-based, some technicals in there, but me and Nat, we thought due to the substantial movement which is now happening in the markets after the first quarter, it's now time to give you guys a dose of the good old technicals.
That's right, and every time we do a Technical Tuesday over the past 4 years now, we feel like our view is always changing, our office is always changing, so check out this view. That's right, so a lot has changed, and we, even though we're doing this from our penthouse, we want to give you guys some good content for this week and hopefully the next few weeks forward. So I think Sean's going to go through 2 pairs.
Yeah, so I'm going to go for the euro dollar, and I'm also going to give you guys a glimpse into the GBP AUD. They were both at substantial levels, and with the monthly closure just happened to close yesterday, we're now in for a treat when it comes down to the technicals and actual trade setups.
And that's right, and I'm going to go through GBP USD. We've had a lot of pound weakness. We've had 2 economic factors for the pound that's making it extremely weak, and we've got dollar strength, and I'm going to show you guys a little bit about the dollar index as well and show you what impact that's had. So I'm going to go through GBP USD and USD CAD. We hope you guys enjoy the good old Technical Tuesdays.
That's it, let's get started. Hey guys, onto the charts we go. Now it has been quite a while. Previous videos, as I've just mentioned, have not really been technically based, so I'm going to fill you in on what I see in the markets on the euro dollar, on the GBP AUD in 1 second. Now, just to throw it out there, quarter 1 was relatively slow. Both of these pairs were more or less in consolidation, and I'll break it down from top to bottom. I'll start on the monthly due to the month just closing, so May could be an interesting month here. I do see personally both of these pairs more or less sinking. A huge change in trend is about to occur. Well, it's already occurring, especially on the euro dollar. And then, if you want to catch up with the analysis I'm about to provide over the next few days, maybe even in the next few weeks, then don't forget to check out the Today's Technical page on EverythingFX.com. The website has actually been out for 10 months now, and we are now revamping, adding a few analysts on there and a few other goodies too. So in the next 10 to 15 days, that revamp will be finalized, and again, we're just trying to make it better and better and better as it goes on to provide people with our daily insights. So let's get to the charts right now. So euro dollar, this is the day. What I'm going to do, I'm going to start on the month. Let's zoom in and see what's actually happened here so I can more or less express my thoughts and observations as to where this is going and why. Now, the month of April, we rejected 1.2400. The 1.2400 level was built from way back, and it's been a very significant level, as has 1.1925 over here too. So as you can see, the market ran into 1.1925 1 month, body closed below. 2nd month, above, body closed below. Finally, we broke out, we retested that area, and we shot all the way up to 1.2400. Now, we had 1, 2, 3, 4 months in a row which couldn't really sustain and hold the momentum above that zone. So just stepping back and looking at the price action, again, it's a monthly time frame, so we actually have a chance and opportunity to sit, breathe, stay calm, relaxed, whilst we're analysing this time frame, and even the weekly, daily, and also the 4-hour as well, if we do it correctly. What we can actually see now is last month actually pulled the price back down, and now we're actually getting follow through. We have the moving average there acting as a small area of dynamic support, but for the euro dollar, 1.1925 is my overall target. So the gist is to obviously look at the higher time frames, look at the momentum, where the momentum's going. Is it a continuation or is it a reversal? Here we have a reversal, and where's the next key major target level we can actually put into a scope and potentially aim for in the next month or so, or even the next few weeks. So if I go into the weekly closure, what's happened was I was marking out and I was taking into consideration the lower swing high points at 1.24. Again, the wicks 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, even over here number 6, there were so many wicks and so many candles on a weekly basis, so week after week after week, we were more or less fluttering around that region, spiking up to 1.2400, but the market couldn't actually sustain above it and close above it, and now we actually got the rejection going forward. So last week we're getting the moving average crossover, and if I just show you guys, it's been quite a while, well, a very, very long time actually, since the moving averages crossed back over and told us, more or less, it's communicating that now the momentum is slightly shifting. So we've came off the resistance, where the week has pulled back below the moving average, back below the daily area of support there at 2208, and now the momentum is continuing to the downside. Going into the day, daily, at the start of this week, my analysis on today's technicals on EverythingFX, I suggested that maybe on Monday we could see a slight pullback into the resistance zone, 1.2208, as marked on right here and right now. However, we didn't get that, we just sunk. We had Monday, Tuesday, boom. So I don't personally see now euro dollar pulling back up to that level. We could maybe pull back to 1.2100 here. Secondary, so we've got daily resistance, daily resistance. As you can see, I like to keep my key levels and charts as clean as possible. And once you have the rules and more or less the formula to plot key levels on which are accurate, you can actually rely on them, not just to take profit from and take profit at, you can also obviously base trades from them as well. Now, 1.2, euro stalling on that psychological level at round number right now. We have 75 pips to go to the downside to my next monthly target. If we actually break that region, looking back in time over here on the left, November, December, we can actually see, number one, if we break that, our next downside level is going to be the next daily one, which I already have plotted on the chart. I'm already ahead of time. If not, we can rebound from that and so on. But again, main focus is to take things as they come in the market. So 75 pips, I'm looking at 1.1925, and that's probably going to be achieved by this week, to be honest, if this momentum and this streak continues on the euro. So the MAs on the weekly crossed over, indicating a huge shift in momentum from nearly a year ago actually, and now the daily is more or less following suit. Monthly, not so much just yet, but daily and weekly are most important when we're looking at those factors. Now, onto the GBP AUD. Interesting price action here, by the way. If we look at the month, firstly the month, 1.8500. If you guys have followed some of the pieces of analysis on EverythingFX, you would have seen that GBP AUD has in fact followed a nice bull run and been taking level after level after level after level. This one especially really likes the round numbers due to having the Australian dollar in the pair. Now 1.8500 tapped, came back down. What's important here though is that this last month we made a huge spike into the resistance. So we have 1.8450, 1.8500. We have the highlighted region, and then we have the daily key level zone, which is a horizontal ray. Now there's 50 pips in between those two levels, and the market spiked through both of them more or less. We had a weak closure last month, and now the momentum, as you can see already on this monthly time frame, i.e. today, is dipping back below 8250. Coming into the week, what's very important here is that we had, look at the previous 3 weeks, 1, 2, 3. Previous 3 weeks we came into 1.8450 3 times. Closed extremely bearish, but last week we managed to pop up through one level, 8250. We spiked up to 1.8450 and just came shy of 1.8500. So if we try to think and piece together what this price is communicating, what its currency pair is trying to tell us right now, is that various levels are being tapped. However, market can't sustain the highs, momentum can't sustain, and now we are actually looking at the market continuing and rebounding, falling to 1.8. So 1.8, guys, as you can see here, massive level previously as resistance, broke through. We haven't really came back to that zone as of yet. So 1.8 is my favored and preferred target zone. I do see this reversing now after some time being bullish. Coming into the daily. Interesting. So I marked on this simple channel The channel was derived more or less from, I had the 1.8 450 zone on, which is the blue key level, which is the blue daily. I had that on already. Then I spotted that obviously we made one low, two low. Friday we also made a low too. So these two lows here, after having the daily key level drawn on, I extended my rectangle across, pulled it down to the 2 points. As you can see, market has been fluctuating and consolidating to and from the resistance and support. Now Friday we broke a good record in the past, I don't know, 6 or 7 weeks in terms of the pip movement. The average daily range was outstretched. On the Friday, we came all the way down to the lower end of the channel. Monday, pulled back up. However, moving averages are kind of crossing over right now. Well, they are crossing over right now. And I'm looking at this daily candle. I need the daily candle to break below and out of this box region. Once it has done, it will confirm to me that momentum has gone from bullish, consolidation, taking its time, off major levels, and now we're ready to come to the downside and potentially reverse the entire trend. So monthly support, excuse my label that I haven't amended that since, but monthly support 1.8, 180 pips away from current market price is my downside target on GBP AUD. If that level is broken through, I do see 1.7850 being met, and then maybe even 1.7750 as well. So there is a scope for about 300 to 350 pips on GBP AUD. Similar kind of setup to Euro, to be honest. We've came into highs after trending to the upside for quite a while now, and now we're ready to turn around and dive back into bearish territory. So even with, I look at GBP JPY quite a lot too. What's surprising is that we've actually broke 150. We broke 150 today. We are making lower swings, lower swing highs, lower lows, lower swing highs into a new low now. And it's going to be interesting to see if GBP JPY even can remain below solidly and firmly 150. If it can, this thing could be in for a big tumble. And I'm sure Nat's going to go over his GBP USD analysis, which kind of lines up with the pound weakness that we're seeing here as well. So guys, I mean, it's been a while since I've gone through some charts on Technical Tuesdays. It's been so many months, and yeah, I mean, I hope you enjoyed that catch up. If you want to continue to look at my charts and analysis from this base, which I've just gone over now, then by all means check out today's technicals on the EverythingFX website. I hope everybody is doing well. Hope everybody has enjoyed some of the vlogs previously. So it's been a long week, it's been a long day, constantly busy, run off our feet, to be honest. There's always been something to do, and yeah, life's a little bit hectic right now. So I do apologize for the lack of technical content in the other videos, but here we are, and I'm going to give you guys over to Nat so he can give his share and his view upon the market. So thank you, and I'll see you next time.
Hey guys, so welcome to my section. You're actually joining me in my bedroom. My setup's behind me. I'm still currently working on it, but hopefully over the next few episodes you get to see a full setup. So let's get straight into it. So I'm going to go through GBP USD and USD CAD. GBP USD I'm going to go through for a second first before I hop into the chart. So GBP USD is absolutely melting. In the past 3 weeks we're down over 650 pips. Now that is due to various different factors, both technical and fundamental. But if I just take the fundamentals for a second first, because the US dollar has been gaining a lot of strength, but GBP USD's downfall is mainly because of the poor data that's been coming out for the pound. The first thing is Q1 GDP figures that came out very poor last week. That created the initial fall from 1.4 to the downside. Now just this morning we had poor manufacturing data and consumer lending. Now it actually took a few hours to kick in, but currently right now it's slammed past those March lows and we're pushing further to the downside. Now at the same time with the dollar index, which has been up for 3 weeks straight. So a lot of those fundamentals and different factors are actually contributing to the moves that are happening right now. USD CAD's a little bit slower and trapped in consolidation, which I'm going to show you guys right now. Hey guys, so let's get straight into GBP USD. So this is a weekly time frame I'm going to start off with to begin with. So weekly, we actually did create new highs just 3 weeks ago at 1.43700. So this took out the highs previously that we actually made in January, and this was an overall big comeback for the pound ever since the Brexit era. So a massive comeback for that pound. But for the past 3 weeks, we've unfortunately flipped that upside down. And now we actually have a lot of pound weakness, which has led us back down to potentially hitting 1.35 soon. So let me break down why that has actually happened, both technically as well. So technically, we actually closed on this week as a bearish engulfing, which engulfed the past few weeks of price action. Hopping down to the daily, now the 1.4 level has been a massive magnet as a monthly level for GBP USD, which you can see has been a major level of support and resistance, and the price has always managed to stay around that 1.4 mark. So when we actually did close below last week, we actually had a breakout, a retest just there, so you can see that retest, and that closes your shooting star. So that told me technically this thing is now going to push to the downside, which I have been sharing on my technical analysis separately. Hopefully you guys have been following that. And then ever since it broke past below that, we've had massive push to the downside, and this is where that poor Q1 GDP figures first kicked in, and that led us back down to March lows. So March here was the lows just here at 1.37100, just roughly around there. And now this morning we've confirmed and taken that low out. Now that of course is due to the poor manufacturing data that we actually got for the pound today. So technically you guys can see we are headed for that 1.35 mark. So for me, I was actually in a short position, and I did close it when we actually hit those March lows. And I was thinking, technically, could we survive? But due to some more pound data coming out, that's not very good. Now we have definitely broke past those lows, and we're headed down to the next level. So if we kind of zoom out a little bit, you guys can see that this next monthly level at 1.35 is a significant price as well, just like 1.4. So I do believe that there is no real support here until we've hit 1.35. If I hop down to a lower time frame once again, you see that 4-hour time frame right now showing a lot of pressure to the downside. We see there's lower lows and lower highs as well forming ever since we've actually broken from those highs up here. And even when it closed below 1.4, you can see lower high formed, lower low, lower high, and now a new lower low. There is actually potential just even today for us to hit 1.35 with how much downside selling pressure we've had just today. So once we hit 1.35, that's when this thing will really get to find out how the pound will actually basically deal with all this weakness that's been happening recently. So once we hit 1.35, if we can stall around this price, or we can actually get a bit of pound strength, I do believe we can start to make a comeback up. So possibly looking at this level as maybe as a rejection point. Now we do have a lot of dollar strength that's been happening, which has caused a little bit of this movement to actually fall to the downside. So the dollar index is now on a 3-week bullish run. But if that thing slows down, hopefully we can get a bit of pound data that's positive. I do believe we can stall around the 1.35 mark and then possibly try and actually use that low that we actually made in March as a possible target. So possibly heading down here, a little bit of stalling, and then possibly trying to trade that back up there. So hopefully over the next few weeks we can see the pound and GBP USD in overall gain some strength back up to the upside. But currently, due to those heavy fundamentals we've had in this past week alone, those two important factors, we are unfortunately melting on this pair, and 1.35 will be the next stop. So now let me go through USD CAD. So guys, I'm going to start off with USD CAD. I'm going to start off in the weekly time frame. So the weekly time frame shows you how choppy price has actually been for the past few weeks and months, ever since really September. Now we've trapped between this monthly time frame of 1.22 to 1.28, and in between that price we've actually of course tested as resistance, tested down here as support, but overall we are starting to make just those slightly higher high and higher low swing. So higher high was formed when we hit 1.31. We've actually now came back down. Now if I zoom to the daily time frame now, you can see here that here we came down to this weekly time frame. I can actually show you better on a 4-hour time frame. So on a 4-hour time frame, you can see that we came close to our weekly, but then we had this few days of consolidation where the price was trapped with a lot of indecision in this box just here. Then when we did break out, we retested it and then we continued. So this dollar strength has definitely come from that dollar index showing that 3-week bullish run. So that actually helped us achieve all the way up to 1.28. Now there was a few things going on with the Canadian dollar showing a bit of weakness as well. So that kind of helped this pair push to the upside. But then we closed above 1.28, and 1.28 is a massive level. So if I just zoom out on the 4-hour, you can see that every time the price even goes slightly close to 1.28. We had some massive rejections from it, and when we do break, you can see how many times we've actually retested before that fall actually happened. So when we actually closed above, now I actually do believe that we actually have a small daily level here, which is actually at 1.28200. So the top of this rectangle just here is where the USD CAD actually finds support level. And for the past few days, we've just been going back and forth. Twice we actually did attempt so far at breaking that 1.29 mark, which you can see here, actually broke back down and then we consolidated. And now, just now, we are actually breaking above and having another third attempt of recent times of breaking above 1.29. So this actually breaks outside this consolidation, and I do believe that the next upside target we can actually go ahead and hit is around the 1.29800 mark. Now where I've got that target is, if you look previously, when we've actually broken 1.29, that's where the next level of resistance has been. And of course from there we've actually fell two times there, and of course this third time when we actually went and test the next weekly. So 1.31 I do believe is my medium target for this pair, if we can actually continue to go and try and take out 1.29800, which I just discussed. So now as you can see here, we've got a lot of manipulation where the price has actually come up past 1.29 and then fell back down. So if I zoom into this pair, especially on a 4-hour, 2-hour time frame, I'm going to make sure that hopefully this doesn't happen again if I'm going to try and go long on this pair. So I do want to try and wait to possibly we break past 1.29200 again. Just at 20-30 pips makes all the difference, and hopefully we can actually get some bullish behavior, a nice breakout, possibly even retest of 1.29. So here's our first target, which is I believe is a very short-term target, and then we have 1.31, which is overall a medium-term target. As long as we stay above 1.28, guys, we're basically going to be staying, our bias is going to remain to be bullish until we actually maybe get a break below 1.28. So for the next few days, and especially few weeks, both my short-term and medium-term outlook on USD CAD is for it to continue this bullish run. Of course, always look at the US dollar index to see if that 3-week bullish run actually does come to an end. Could that possibly cause a little bit of a pause on this upside movement? So that's my analysis for USD CAD, guys. I'm seeing possible an opportunity to take this thing long, and I've given you my 2 upside targets if that actually does happen. Hey guys, so I'm going to leave you guys on a pretty cool note. So for all of you guys that have watched us for the past 4 years make these Technical Tuesday episodes, and hopefully of course made some money alongside us and enjoy the analysis, for us we want to say thank you for you guys. So we've obviously been doing this for 4 years, and you guys have seen us do Technical Tuesdays and trade from our very first office, from our second office to our third office. And I think if I were to go back when I first started, when I first got in front of the computer from my bedroom, of course a big goal of mine was always wondering, I'm trading a London session, but imagine how cool this would be if I could trade it from central London. So if you guys want to join me for a second, I want to show you guys my view. So of course this is my bedroom, which is still in the works. So again, that thought of what's it like trading from the London session, I just want you guys to know if you work hard enough, it actually can happen. So this is my view every time I wake up in the morning. So hopefully guys, a bit of motivation for you guys. This is my view. I never thought it would be my view when I'm actually on those charts. I went from those bedroom views, I went from those office views, and now this is my view, and it can be yours too.